their psychological knowledge
Mm.
against us in a way, against what you might think of as a reasonable social contract.
Yes, it's a very interesting point. I mean, in one sense, I can't really blame the social media companies for hiring people with this expertise because, to make your product interesting and engaging, companies have, done this sort of behavioral insight research for a long time. So I don't blame them for doing that. In the other sense, there would not necessarily be a market for this sort of stuff if governments had, and not just the American government, but Irish government, UK government, European countries, advanced developed nations. How I diagnose this problem is that after the financial crash in 2008, the funding of research into social sciences by institutes of higher education collapsed. And now I think maybe 10, 11 years later, I think politicians are starting to realize that to form policy in this area, it would be useful if they had a solid body of social science research in this. And they're finding that they can't really reach that because, largely speaking, I think an awful lot of the social media corporations, a lot of the tech corporations have hired probably the smartest people in this field.
Yeah.
And you can see, and to be honest, if you were coming out as a PhD student now, and you were like, if you had this knowledge in machine learning and analysis of social media data, and you can go, well, I can do a postdoc, and that will probably get me maybe, I don't know, $30,000-$40,000 a year, or I can work for Facebook and I'll get $120,000. It's a no-brainer. However, it does sort of point to another thing, which is a deeper malaise in the last decade, which is, it was pointed out by a great philosopher of sociology, professor by the name of, what's his name now? Nicholas Rose at the London School of Economics. And he's written a number of books, like maybe a decade or more ago, but he characterizes psychology as the generous discipline. So all of psychology's methodologies, like in surveys and experiments and focus groups and so on, psychology kind of lets other areas of other disciplines use these. And to my mind, there's a whole branch of academic research, like communication studies, media studies, that field. I kind of think, to my mind, that's psychology should be doing that work.